All right, guys. Welcome back to Perf Podcasts. Athlete Things Road to Worlds. So this is a new iteration for the uh, competition year of 2024. I'm joined with Danny from Perth and Joshua Lanivia, also known as Tonganator, if you guys don't know him. Yeah. So, Josh, give us a short introduction about yourself.
Yeah, my name's Josh Lanivia. I'm a Sparky powerlifter. I enjoy video games. I'm 27, turning 28 this year, I think, something like that.
You think?
And yeah, I'm from Sydney, bro. I honestly always forget. I always just check with the misso. I don't
That's
know
fine.
how old I am. Yeah,
It's good
but
to be
yeah, I'm
young.
turning 28. That's exactly right, bro. Laughing.
Yeah.
I
All right.
I
So,
forget.
okay, so Joshua is also our U120 champion in the recent Australian Powerlifting Alliance Open Nationals. So, for to give the viewers some context, he was a 105 lifter and he recently made the move to go up to. We'll talk about that in a bit. So, Danny, would you want to give us a rundown of his prep for leading up to states and nationals?
Yeah, man. So I guess what I wanted to get out of you, Josh, is like, nationals just passed, but if we kind of backtrack a bit, right? Like you had states, which was a pretty big deal for you. It was probably one of the first few big head-to-heads he had in a while since nationals. So talk us a bit through what that was like. How did that kind of, or I imagine it kind of created this stepping stone for you to practice you being a competitor for the big one, right? So talk us through your battle with Chris Aslan, Florian, and your battle for during states.
Going into states was really good. Training was going well. After Perth, I was with Shania Nutrition at the time, and we decided it was a joint decision between us two and Steve to make the jump to 120 because I feel like my frame needed a bit of filling out, which was a good call. So going into it, man, I was just eating everything. I was just pumping food, calories out my ass, man. It was mad. But training was going well, and going into state, me and Steve knew we had a pretty good chance of taking the dub. Going into that battle, Chris, we knew he had a massive squat, and honestly, going into it, I had no idea who Florian was. On meet day, I think we were weighing in, and he was just sitting there, bro. This scary looking bloke, and I didn't know who he was. And then he came up to me and he's like, "Yo, Josh, I'm Florian," and he introduced himself, bro. What a guy! I love that guy. Now he's my favorite. Florian's such a good dude. Chris, a seasoned veteran. Apparently, Florian was competing way back too. So, going into that comp on the day, both of those guys had a lot of experience, and I just had to execute. Steve had the numbers written up for me to win. He's really good at that. So we both knew what the plan was, and it was just to secure pretty much every kill I could get, and don't push it. In terms of, I get very excited on comp days to really run the numbers up. I look at Steve and I'll be like, I'm good for like plus 10. And then he'd look at me and be like, no, you're not. I was like, all right, fair call. So, just to secure every kilo I could get. And it was really good going up against those two guys. They were very, very good blokes, very respectful dudes. Like in the warm-up room, we'd all be in our own corners, but they still came up to me before we started, wish me luck. At the end, but shook hands, man. Great bunch of blokes, and it does suck what happened to Chris and his hammy, and I do hope he has a speedy recovery. But just came out with a dub on that one.
Yeah, I think it goes to show a lot about your sportsmanship as well, which could also lead into nationals, the way you handle yourself after. But like, if we keep it to just states, right? Like, I think one of your strengths in that one was like, not about the lack of experience, but it's kind of like you just know that you need to do your own thing and you're not worrying about other people's and what the outcome is, right?
Absolutely. I knew Chris was going to outscore me. I knew he was going to pump me on that. I was like, I'll just secure what I can get and then hopefully make up for it in the bench and deadlift. And just pretty much stay in my lane. Don't get too caught up in it. I knew Steve knew what he was doing, so I just had to execute, really.
Yeah. And so I was there on the day, and first deadlift.
You were handling me too. Yeah.
Second deadlift, great.
Yeah.
And then you miss your third deadlift, so 337 right at the very top. going coconut there.
Bro, I don't know, I was just G'd up to the moon, eh? The first two, I knew I had in the bag. And then the third one, Steve finally gave me the chance to go full coconut. Don't care what happens. He's like, you get one shot. And I messed it up. He's never gonna let me do that again. So yeah, honestly, I think that one really opened my eyes in terms of controlling my arousal. I mean, I was ready to run through a wall. So I really need to keep the arousal somewhat on the higher end, especially for those, but in control, because I was not. I was just like, mate, I'm going to rip this off the floor. And I ripped it off the floor, but it went everywhere else after that. So that was a big lesson. I got to chill out just a smidge.
You definitely see the influence afterwards, because like your attempt selection at nationals looks quite different on paper, right? And I think a lot of that is kind of you giving your trust to Steve. Like Steve knows the numbers that you need to hit, and it's just like around like
No
you do what you need to do, but no more coconuts.
That's it. I 110% trusted that bloke to pick the right numbers, and I just do what I do in training. So
it'll be the same for Lithuania?
Yeah, pretty much.
Awesome.
I'm going to smash training as hard as I can, and from those numbers, Steve will choose the right ones, and I'll execute to the best of my ability.
We'd love to hear that. Yeah. So that performance at States gave you an 820 total at Sydney. So fast forward a month, in Brisbane, we have Sam hitting 8th at States. So how did that make you feel?
I knew Sam, mate. He's a beast. Bloke's a beast. I knew he was going to do something outrageous, and I was there, actually. Oh, no, I wasn't there on that day, because I think Lucian competed just before. So Lucian was in the morning session, and Sam and Tom Chaplin, they were all in the other session. And I wanted to hang around, but I also wanted to get the drinks going. So we hung around for a couple squats, and then we're like, okay, we gotta go. And then but yeah, Sam's squat had room. His deadlift had his bench was a bit rough at the time, but his squat and deadlift had plenty of room. So that was really it was really good to see, because I love competition, and I knew he was gonna like just get better from there. So it just G'd me up, eh? I love that guy. I was ready to go. I was like, I think, when was this, in November? I think their states was in November.
It was November, Queensland States.
Yeah. And I was like, bro, we are running straight through a wall for Nats. Like, I was so keen. I was really keen for nationals after I saw that. It was mad. It
was crazy, because like, man, you on one end you got yours is like, all right, 820. If he doesn't coconut, he's roughly about the same. And then Sam's is like 840, 845 easy, right? And so here comes the storyline of here comes the storyline of like what's gonna happen at nationals, right? And we know the outcome of it now. Shout out to Sam, great competitor, great final deadlift, which was close, but just not there on the day, right? But like, talk us through what that was like on the day, and even you could even backtrack to the prep, because like, you know, if that G'd you up, run us through what's going through your mind on a day to day all the way into nationals.
Post Queensland States, I think Steve gave me the green light to push my volume, and it was RPE 6 squats, sets of 5. If you turn that 6 upside down, that was more accurate, but I was full running it. Like, I really enjoyed it, and I knew I needed to bring my numbers up in terms of my squat. My squat needed work. Actually, all 3 lifts needed work. So I took that opportunity to really kind of not send, but really push my volume, and B, my accessories. Because I knew, like, probably a month out or maybe 2 months out from States, Steve will probably tell me to kind of pull back on those and push my singles. But the early months, I was smashing volume, smashing my accessories. And then fast forward to about February, January, just started smashing my singles. And it just all lined up perfectly, especially when I was eating a ton. Recovery, sleep was never happening because I do shift work, but my nutrition was mad. My nutrition and hydration, whatever I could control, I took it and ran with it going into training, and then came up with some pretty big singles the week out. I think I ended with that's right, I failed my 340. My last deadlift before comp, 340, no good. Should I have done it? Absolutely
did it
not.
go off the floor? Did it go
No,
off the floor?
I couldn't lock it. I couldn't lock it out, and like it
Right.
got 3/4 of the way. And usually I would like give it a couple seconds, but nah, I was like, this is not worth the recovery. So I just
You
dropped
did
it.
have
I
a
was like,
couple
yeah,
of
nah, that's it. And Steve wasn't too happy about that one, but we moved. And then I hit a 350. Bro, yeah. If you saw my 320 was like the 330 at Nationals. It was like that. And I was like, plus 20, I'm good for it.
Another coconut moment.
I was not good for it. In hindsight, I won't do that for Worlds, but yeah, I tried. Like, man, my mentality was on 110%, like, just got to push. And unfortunately, that one didn't work out. But squats, week out, I did 315, and it was pretty funny because I had diarrhea that day. So, yeah, I squatted 315, and I told Steve, I was like, bro, I went to the toilet 4 times in the past hour. Full run city, man. Like, my guts were out. And I told him, I was like, on the day, if I'm like normal, I got 320, comfortable. And he's like, all right, we'll play the numbers. We'll run the numbers game and then see what happens. And then, yeah, my bench done 215. And yeah, just going into comp, I knew I had those numbers in the bag. Oh, not the 340 squat. Oh, in my head, I had 340 squat, but Steve knew damn well. He was like, no, you don't. But yeah, going into comp, I was very confident in my squat and my bench, and my deadlift will take whatever. Steve will run the numbers, whatever it takes to try to push Sam a bit too far out. And then we fast forward to the day. So on the day, I was feeling mad. I had a great sleep the night before, had a good feed, had some Nutri-Grain the morning of. I was feeling mad. Got to the comp. I was the last one to weigh in, stitch up. I don't know, but I wasn't even cutting, so I wasn't too fussed. And then, man, Sam's a great guy. I was hanging out with him before we started. Great bloke, love the guy. Hell of a competitor too. Started warming up and going into squats. Man, my warm ups moving, and I looked at Steve. I think my last one was 260. I looked at him, and he looked at me. I didn't even say anything. And he's like, yeah. He's like, yeah. I was like, yeah. That's it, bro. I was like, man, you load anything, I'm on. Anyway, yeah, nailed my first one clean. Nailed my second one, and after that second one, I walked off full HK. I looked at him. I was like, 320, loaded. And he looked at me. He said, no. I was like, oh, you know what? I trust you. You do what you do. So 317. I definitely have 320 in the tank, but we only required 317 for the year. I don't know what he was playing. I think he was playing whatever Sam would load. We'd load something on top of it. So, yeah, that was...
Good shout. Good shout.
Yeah, I was on.
320.
My squat. Yeah, easy. Boom. Explode out the hole. I don't want to... Man, I get very excited when I compete. I get very excited. So,
yeah, I can tell.
I don't get too excited until I see the light. So I was like glancing, saw it, and then, yeah, you know, the casual fist bump, this, that. Oh, chest bump. Yeah. Bit of a yell. I was G'd up. I was like, yeah,
chicken wing on Steve.
Yeah, bro. That was, man, I think someone has a phone recording. He ran into me in my defense. I was just like, yeah, you know, walking over. I saw his cast. I was like, you know what, better relax. He comes charging at me with the other shoulder. I'm like, all right. All right. If you want some of this smoke, bro, I'll give it to you. But, squats on fire. I was feeling good, kept eating. Going into bench, same thing. Warm-ups, flying. And knocked out my first 2. And I didn't know Sam missed going into this. I didn't know. I had no idea. I think I was just like in my own head, listening to my music.
Just doing your own thing.
Just doing my own thing. And coming off my second bench, Steve was like, how you feeling? And I was like, bro, great. You could load 220. And he said, hell no. He was like, 212? I was like, nah, what? I was like, what? 215, bro.
That's too easy. That's too easy.
I thought the discussion was between 215 and 217. He's like, all right, fine. I'll load 2. He's like, you confident in 215? I was like, bro, RPE 7. Watch. It was hard, but a good 7. A good comp day 7. But I had no idea Sam missed. And then I think the goal was to go into deadlifts with like a 30 to 35 kilo lead, if we could. And then he walks up.
Sam's got the
he walks up. That's exactly right, bro. It was going to smoke me. There was no ifs or buts about that. he was going to kill me on deadlifts. So he's like, we need like a 30 to 35 kilo if we want a chance. And we're walking back to the warm-up room, and he's like, dude, you're up 42. And I was like, hey? He's like, yes. He's like, yeah, you're up 42. Like, he's like, don't mess it up now. I was like, okay. Let me focus. Plus, not to mention, the crowd was insane. So I couldn't leave the warm-up room. Otherwise, I wouldn't make it back. Just the amount of highs and like the amount of conversations going on. I knew, mate, if I went out, I was out. I wasn't coming back. So I was just staying in the warm-up room, just doing my thing, headphones on the whole time, eating, chilling, relaxing. And just going into deadlifts. 300 flew, my opener. My 320 was a bit... Okay, so going into deadlifts, I think walked in on day one, and I was watching, and man, they were calling the slightest, like, that if that bar touched your leg, hitch. I was like, I need to adjust. It's like, all right. Because I tend to, like recently, I've tended to hitch nowadays, which isn't ideal, which is real bad. Red lights, like, you can lock it out, but that's red light city. So I didn't tell Steve, but I knew I had to make an adjustment. And 320, like, I got it all the way up, and the lockout was slow, but I knew in my head, as soon as it passed my knees, all I was saying was, don't hitch, don't hitch, don't hitch, don't hitch. That's all I was thinking. Oh, I didn't care about speed. It was just, don't hitch at all. And it was a bit slow, so I told Steve, I was like, man, you choose the number. I might say 340 and just mess up, but he's like, all right, I'll put in 332 for now, and then we'll see how it unfolds. And then he ended up going down, which was the right call because, man, it was slow. It was slow, but it was a very clean lockout, which I was aiming for going into that. And then forced Sam to load up 373. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he got it. Bro, bloke's a beast. He's built different, that guy.
It was crazy.
Yeah. Hey, as soon as he got off the floor, I was like, oh. I think he's got it. Yeah, I was like, oh. Yeah, and then, unfortunately, it went down. And, man, what a great guy. Like, I couldn't cheer in his face, man. I had to congratulate the guy. He regardless of the result, his total, man, honestly, he could have deadlifted 865. I'm at 365. So if you add 365 to that, he was good for it. So, what a guy. It was a mad competition. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And, that was about it. I just had to execute. Yeah. Steve knew the numbers. He's the numbers guy. I just go out there and, I knew going into that, I couldn't miss. But if I missed one lift, I was out. I was done for. Let's be honest here. I was done.
Especially in subtotal. It was like full
100%.
clash of two titans, right? Like you got Sam, who was ahead with room, and it's like, you've got kilos of body weight you could gain. You got to fix up your execution, and if all things line up, it's like nobody knows what the end outcome's going to be, and it could have gone either way.
That's exactly right. It definitely could have gone either way. If I missed, because my jumps were like 10 kilo minimum on each lift, each attempt. So if I missed one, I was done, bro. I was done. Sam was too good on the day if I did miss. So I was very Oh, by the way, Bobby, I can see you do have a red dot on your screen.
So
awesome. You're good.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Sam's a beast, man. I love that guy. Hell, bro. Steve made the right call. Because, 373 maybe a little too much, but he was good for like 365. I'd put my money on him.
So,
all right. So that sums up your performance for Nats, right? So let's talk about Lithuania now. So have you planned your flights? Have you planned your leave?
Yep. Shout out to my agent, my manager, Mara Bonifacio. Also my lovely girlfriend. Bro, she is on it. She's on it, bro. She organised everything. The only thing I had to organise was leave from work. And, she hooked up, she booked the flights in there, which let me tell you this story. I was very lucky, my boss, shout out my boss from work, because I was supposed to, so I compete on the 22nd. I was supposed to work on the 17th and fly out on the 18th and then land on the 19th. Yeah, close. I told Mara, I was like, bro, hey, don't worry about me. I'm good for it.
I'm good for it. Yeah.
Don't worry about me.
I'm good for it.
Full jelly legs, full jet lag, and that 30 hour flight, whatever. And then I'm good for it. But I begged the boss to take that 17th off, and we made it happen. So then we're flying out on the 15th land on. We got a 24-hour layover at Korea, but that's not too bad. I don't mind chilling for 24 hours and then have another, I think, 10 hours of flying to Lithuania on this, and we land on the 17th in the morning. And then, from the 17th to the 22nd, I got 5 full days of just chilling, enjoying some powerlifting, bit of sightseeing.
You're going to visit some castles in Lithuania?
Bro, that's what Mara wants to do. She's like, we have to see some castles.
Oh, she's on.
Like, no, say less.
Tour guide and everything.
Get the steps in, bro. Bro, hey, she's on it, man. And like on the way back, my family are coming. So I think everyone knows Lucienne, my sister. She got included in the Australian team. So
yeah,
that was massive. And yeah, as soon as that happened, we started booking some like a little family trip on the way back through Greece.
Awesome.
And yeah,
is family coming to watch you compete at Worlds as well, or
my parents are? Yeah, my parents are.
That's gonna be crazy. That is.
Bro, it's gonna be mad.
Next level.
It's gonna be mad.
You can't miss. You can't miss.
I can't miss.
Family's watching. You can't miss.
Down. I can't let the fam down. In the green and gold too. Oosh, I'm pretty keen to get that, Biggie. Yeah, that's it. I'm pretty keen. I'm so keen for it now. Yeah, as soon as we booked the flights, I think it really sunk in how it's for real.
It's happening, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's happening.
It's happening.
Oh, honestly, I would have never imagined like that feeling. But
really?
Yeah, never. Like, man, bro, the last Nats, bro, I got my ass handed to me.
But that wasn't one of times.
Cleaned. Yeah, and I was like, I eventually wanted to get like, win, but I didn't imagine it'd be this close or this soon. So just gotta keep pushing training, continue getting better, and the sky's the limit, really.
All right, now that we got like the flights, the itinerary out of the way, what are your goals and expectations for Worlds? Like, it's your first international comp, it's your first Worlds.
Yeah.
So, heading into Worlds, what do you sort of want to achieve in that arena?
Numbers wise, or just in general?
In general, you can include numbers if you like.
We haven't. I think we penciled out numbers. I don't know if Steve. You know what? Nah, stuff it.
This is gonna be real bad.
I think the goal is somewhere between. Yeah, no, bro. It's pretty realistic. It's pretty like I think the goal is. You know what, Bobby? If I get 900, I'm gonna give you a shout.
Okay, I'll bet.
No. What's it called? I think the goal is from now. How long? 3 months.
Yeah.
If we can chalk up somewhere in the 890 range, because I think after States last year, this is funny. After States last year, the next block, or Steve names the blocks, it's 888 plus, because Cameron McKenzie holds the best 120 total.
Total, right?
Mm-hmm.
In Australia?
Yeah. And that bro, that was from November. He's like, I need you to beat this. So if I can like get 890 on the world stage, bro, I'm frothing. That'll be unreal. Right. Like, you got Bob Matthews there, just like, casual 1,000.
1,000.
But don't worry about that guy. Don't worry about that guy. If I can,
on a conservative day.
He's finished.
That's it. Don't worry about that guy. He's built different. If I can chalk up an 890 or something in that region, I'll be ecstatic. I think that's the goal. But I think honestly, funny thing about Nats as well, that's the first ever 9 for 9 I've ever done. Ever. Funny
really? Ever.
Yeah.
How many comps have you been in?
5, maybe 6. 5.
Oh, okay.
Something like that. Yeah. I've never went 9 for 9 until nationals when I needed it. How's
it feel? How's it feel to finally go 9 for 9?
Oh, it feels unreal. I was like, wow. So this is what it feels like. Yeah, just getting 3 white lights just makes you feel good. Like man, like I don't miss. It's like Avatar, bro. It's like when the world needed him most, mate, he vanished. But I'm back. 9 for 9, baby. 9 for 9. I'm good for it.
I'm him. I'm actually him.
Oh, that's it. Like, don't worry about the total. I actually went 9 for 9. I was like, bro, this is a mad feeling. 27 white lights, mate, across the board, laughing.
Right.
Wow.
All right. So before
that's the goal total.
Yeah,
that's the goal. Yeah, that's the goal.
890. Yeah.
If I can, 890. Yeah.
That's
and
the
if I push it,
one total, right? In
Australia, in IPF, I think 120.
No, not IPF, but.
Sorry, no. In Australia, like any IPF federation.
Yeah.
In Aussie.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
All right. So before we end off this potty, let's get you some rapid fire questions so like your viewers get to know you better. All right.
Yeah.
All
Get
right.
some what, sorry?
What?
Get some what, sorry?
So like your viewers get to know you better.
Oh yeah, mad.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna just like bullet fire questions at me?
Yeah.
Oh, say less.
All right. So how did you start powerlifting?
How did I start? I started training outside. I was at Kmart at the time. This is when I first met Mara as well, about 8-9 years ago. And I started training with the guys there at the Plus Fitness, Wetherill Park, to be more precise. And then I started training, bit of training, full gym bro spec, like, you know, the usual, get bigger, bench press every day, what is legs, who squats, boring. But yeah, I just train, and I kind of got sick of like the bodybuilding side of things, personally. Like, I know a lot of people that love it, but I was just getting sick of it. And then just kept pushing my squats, bench. I just wanted to get like stronger. And then I came across two blokes at the local Anytime near me, and they were powerlifters. Shout out Jeremy and Josh. They know who they are. And they showed me that this was a sport, and I was like, oh, bro, it's hectic. And I was like, yeah, full gym, bro, like just online, just doing some research, this, that, trying to get stronger. And then I came across Mr. Tom Bolt. Shout out my boy. He was my first powerlifting coach. This was after one of my partner's novice comps. I went there and I was like, bro, this is hectic. Like, just everyone supporting everyone. I had no idea this was a scene. And like, yeah, right. He came up to me. He's like, yeah, hit me up if you want a coach. And then, yeah, after that, this was 2021 in June-ish, 2021. And I hit him up and I was like, bro, let's get this party started. And then, yeah, just started there and here I am.
Awesome.
It's crazy. It's only been 3 years.
Yeah. It's only been 3 years, yeah.
Yeah. It has. Oh, shit, it has too. Yeah, wow. Yeah.
3 good years.
Yeah,
3
that's
years
it, bro.
and the whole stage, man.
That's it. You just got to push, bro. You just got to push.
You gotta push.
Eat, bit of eating. Yeah, good for it.
Wait, what was your weight before you first started?
Training or powerlifting?
Both.
When you saw me before I was training, I was under 90. I was a twig. Bro, it was embarrassing. Yeah. Looking back at it now, bro, I look like a stop sign. Like my head, I got a pretty large size head. I think that's why I started training, because I wanted to kind of even it out. My head's pretty, like now it looks normal, but man, I got a big size head. And like when I had like twigs for like a body, it stood out. And I was like, yeah, I gotta do something about this. So yeah, put on some size. And I was well under 90. I couldn't tell you exactly. And when I first started with Tom, I think I was like on the 100 mark. Like, yeah, I was floating on the 100. So I did my first comp at 105.
105, yeah.
And I was still pretty, not skinny, but compared to now, I was definitely lighter.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so next question. Squat, bench, or deadlift?
My favorite lift?
Yeah.
Right now, bench. Bro, honestly, for the longest time, it was deadlift. For the longest time, bro, I was like, I wouldn't call it a deadlift specialist, but I just enjoyed it. Just because, like, there's not much thinking. There's not much techers when it comes to Connie lifting, bro. Just brace, pick it up, pretty much.
Yeah.
But the more I got into it, like, I enjoy benching. And I bench, not a lot, but a decent amount. I think 4 times a week. And I just enjoy benching, really. Benching's fun. My deadlift has taken a back seat, so me and Steve have kind of revamped it. So we're working on it for Worlds. Bigger plans.
Learning
just
on hinging
garbage. Yeah, bro. What's a hinge, bro? I didn't even know. I don't even know.
You're way up, right?
Dead set. Bobby. Pretty much. I sent Steve my deadlift videos from a side on, and he's like, bro, what is that? I was like, this is how I deadlift. He's like, you just bend over and pick it up. I was like, yeah, pretty much. So we need to work on that. But I've got a very good feeling, like, once we do figure it out, I think the machine is there for once we do get things clicking, because I feel like my erectors are pretty decent, my glutes and my hammies. I feel like my posterior chain is pretty solid. Yeah, I reckon that's pretty solid, so it's just a technique thing. Once I figure that out, we're working. We're on for the 890s possible. Yeah.
900.
I mean, you literally added like 10 plus kilos to your bench in the past 5 months, right? It's like, why wouldn't it be your favorite? The hardest one.
That's exactly
hardest
right.
One to get
that's
kilos
exactly
on.
right, bro.
Will we see 4 Ritz at Worlds?
I think that's the goal. Steve wants me to hit that. I think the
awesome.
minimum is 220, but 4 reds plus a collar.
Yeah,
That's a nice number.
That would be
That's a nice
juicy.
number.
That would be and aesthetically
that's a
speaking,
heavyweight right there.
yeah, that's it. So yeah, I think 220, 225, that'll be mad. But I got a little elbow issue. Shout out Tom, Perf Emotion. He sorted me out with that at the moment, and I'll be back on it. I think I can bench. I just can't do accessories at the moment.
Right, it's great to hear.
I'll be alright.
So
Just full crackers, just push it.
all right. So last question: what does powerlifting mean to you?
What does powerlifting mean? It's a really enjoyable time for me. Like I enjoy not only competing, but I think I really do enjoy the process. So it's just something that I find really, really fun to do, and you can set very achievable goals. You can set goals and obviously hit them, but it's just like the time I spend training might be a couple of hours, but I like it. Like, well, I'd rather train for 3 hours or train for 2.5, 3 hours than train for 1 hour and go home and watch Netflix. Like, I enjoy it. Powerlifting's bad for me personally. Like, I like the feeling of getting stronger. I like working on it. I like that there is a number that proves like how strong or how hard you've worked. And I just
Yeah, the
means a
weight's the
lot
weight, right?
right
Yeah,
yeah, weight's
there's no
weight.
light weight. Yeah,
There's no ifs or buts about it, man.
Yeah.
You can either lift it or you can't, pretty much.
Yeah.
So I
Pretty
do like
straightforward.
that aspect as well.
That's great. All right, so there you have it, Joshua Lanivia from coached by Steven from Perf Motion. Yeah. So thanks for
AKA
sharing
the
with us your
Tonganator.
story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my pleasure. Thanks for having us, lads.
All right.
Danny, fix your potato of a computer. Bobby, it was a pleasure meeting you, brother.
All right. Pleasure, man.
Oh no.
All right. So that's it for this episode. And
All right.
yeah, we'll see you in the next one, man.
All right, my man. Take care. See you,
All
lads.
right.
Do you have the record button to stop recording?